Hello, this is Alessandro here from Checkpoint Chat, and today is a really special day. Today we've got the PlayStation 5. Finally, this is a unit that has been provided to us graciously by Sterkinico and Gamefinity ahead of the launch here in South Africa. So, by now it's out in other regions, United States, other regions. So you've probably seen what's in the box already. So there's no point taking all the things out of this thing and showing you all the pamphlets and all the cables, and all the HDMI ports, and Jeff Keighley's got you covered, Today is just about this thing and just how friggin' huge this console is. I mean, I've got a Micro ATX PC there. This thing is taller than that. Obviously not as big, but it is a chunky piece of hardware. And, I'm still coming around on the overall design. I think it's standing vertically with the included stand, which is actually very nice. Looks pretty good. The all digital version is more symmetrical, obviously, because it doesn't have the disk drive here on the side. But I think standing up, this would probably be my first PlayStation at least, that I stand up vertically. All of the others have been horizontal boards, you know what I mean? But it is heavy. If you saw the breakdown that Sony released, it has got a lot of cooling capacity in here. Got that massive heatsink, that massive fan. You've even got liquid metal on the APU. So I'm hoping that this is a lot quieter than my PS4 Pro, which is ridiculously loud at the moment. So that's the console. It's a console, Here we've got the DualSense controller, brand new controller from Sony this time around. And you know what? I held it for the first time just before I started recording this thing, and it's weird. It's bigger. Well, here is a DualShock 4. Here is a DualSense. It's slightly bigger. It feels bigger in the hands. But it's got this weird tapering on the side here. Just as the handle tapers off here, it is a bit pointy and a bit sharp, at least much sharper than the completely rounded edges on the DualShock 4. So immediately in my hands, this thing juts out on my pinky and ring finger, and I don't know if it will take getting used to or if I'm just holding this thing like an idiot, but it feels odd. But the curvature of the sides feels really, really nice. I like the presses of the buttons. They feel a lot better. The D-pad still, I don't know. The whole single piece D-pad thing is just, no man, no. The triggers feel a lot better. Obviously, because the controller's not powered on, I can't feel the haptic resistance in the triggers that a lot of games will, utilize. So you actually have resistance built into the triggers. So in something like Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn, when Aloy is drawing the bow, as you are pulling down to draw the bow, the resistance of this trigger will increase. And it's up to developers to implement things like that within their games, but I'm assuming most, if not all, Sony first-party titles will make liberal use of these features. L1 and L2 feel nice. It's a nice controller. I think the DualShock 4, the DualShock 4 is a nice controller. The only thing that's bad about it is the battery life, and from what I've read, they've addressed that with the DualSense, and then gone even further with all the additional rumble features and stuff like that. So I'm keen to try that out. But just from a comfort perspective, this is fine. It's just, I gotta get used to this jutting out thing. It also charges with USB-C, so that's cool. So just to give you a sort of idea of how big this console is and how different Sony's design philosophy has been with the PlayStation 5. Here is the rest of the PlayStation lineup that I own, which is not all of it, but it's something. So, first we've got last generation PlayStation 4 Pro, which is the biggest of the PlayStation 4s, the sandwich. and that upright is significantly shorter, about as wide, and definitely a bit longer in the back. But I mean, compare this thing. This is, even from a weight perspective, this is hard to pick up with one hand, and this is like, whatever. Bench this all day. So that's the PlayStation 4 Pro. Then we've got PlayStation 3. This is the slim model, because that initial console was also just like big and fat, and I thought, frankly, quite ugly. But this, slightly just as tall as the PS4 Pro. It's a bit thinner, weighs less. Here's my PlayStation 2, which I don't have because I never owned a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 1. It's very sad. PSP and PS Vita. This is a Vita. This is a PlayStation 5. I think I could fit like 8 of these vertically alongside this thing. Probably the same, if not just slightly less for the Vita. This is a UMD of the best PSP game ever made, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. This is a UMD next to the PlayStation 5. Point being, this is a big console, and you know, with the amount of power that Sony's packed into this thing, it's no surprise. You know, along with that, the cooling solution is huge. I'd rather have a massive console like this that is quiet than a smaller console like this, which sounds like it's jetting into orbit whenever I load up the menu on Days Gone. Know what I mean? So, Baby Yoda approved. It's the PlayStation 5. For more on the PlayStation 5, Checkpoint Chat, coming at you on all the podcast services: Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. We've got a website, checkpointchat.com. We host videos on our YouTube channel, which doesn't have a custom URL yet, so subscribe to that to help us get there, but it'll be linked in this video. If you're watching it, you're already there, right there. Welcome. Hello. But we launch podcast episodes every Monday. We talk about games, we have conversations about them, we answer your questions, and we're going to be talking a lot about the PlayStation 5 in the weeks to come. Again, thank you to Stokeniko and Gamefinity for providing us with a unit, and I can't wait to start playing this thing. I love PlayStation games, I love their exclusives, love my PS4, but it's time for this thing to rest. Its fans have been working so hard over the years, and it's time for this thing to get into commission. So, thank you for watching, and hope to see you around real soon.